The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenutech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information.
This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System.
Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System with me, Matt Dean, and back. I was right, wasn't I, last week? You were away on your wedding anniversary, is that right?
No.
Or is that the Newport game, innit?
That's the Newport game, yeah.
I knew, I was full of doubt when I said it. I just didn't know where you were, so I used that one. So your wedding anniversary is coming up in April. What were you up to last weekend?
We went to see my wife's friends in Cheltenham, so we were there for a weekend, yeah.
And this is Andy Halliwell, by the way. I don't think I said who you were. Just in case there's any first-time listeners, London correspondent and co-host of the Boundary Park Alert System. You missed last week, of course, Andrew, but you provided a fascinating stat last week ahead of the Bromley game. The 10 passes or more stat was very interesting, wasn't it? And I think when we played Bromley on Tuesday, it was evident from very early in the game that is really not their style.
Well, it just shows you, doesn't it? You can be effective playing different ways.
Exactly.
You know, I think when you see teams retain the ball and pass it a lot, you assume that they're doing well. Doesn't mean they are. I think you just have to take a broader view, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's not get into the football too soon. We have formalities on this show, don't we? And the first one is to introduce the fan guest, and that's your job, Andy. So away you go.
And this is a fan debutante, indeed. So tell us, when was your first game, fan guest?
Okay, it was my dad bought me a season ticket for the 1988-89 season, but sadly we were on holiday for the first two games, so it was a Tuesday night game against Oxford under the lights, a 3-0 win. I think Palmer got 2, but I'm not 100% of the goal scorers. But yeah, that was my first one, and I think it helped being under the floodlights. It really got me into it. So yeah, it was a great game.
On the plastic.
On the plastic, yeah.
The season before, you could be accused of being a glory hunter. So you were going when things weren't necessarily at the peak.
Can I just make a point about the plastic and the floodlights? Actually, there was this, because of the colour of the plastic. It just came to me now, but there was a sort of a different kind of luminosity about Boundary Park with that surface, wasn't there?
Is that a word?
Luminosity.
It is now.
I think so.
Yeah, it did almost like the pitch up, like you say.
Yeah, it was. It was different, wasn't it, than it is now? I think is what I'm getting at. But yeah, it's just come to me now.
But like you said, it's a bit weird because it was like the season before the pinch me season. But even though we were probably what the equivalent of a mid-table championship club then, which you bat your arm off I know, but we still felt quite like a small team because of your neighbours and stuff. But yeah, you felt like small. Then obviously, the year after it all kicked off massively.
What I recall about, if you look at some of the attendances back in then, because it was at the back end of the hooligan era, wasn't it? We were only getting 3,000 or 4,000 at home as a mid-table championship team. But then if you looked at other teams, like Newcastle were only getting 12 or something. It's very different, isn't it? When you think about us taking 2,000 away at Tranmere yesterday. Anyway, who was your first favourite player, fan guest?
Well, it's a boring one, but it was Andy Ritchie. As I'll prove later, I've got a terrible memory for football matters. But I'll never forget the goal he scored against Arsenal in the Wood's Cup. I was just diagonally behind it. I could just remember him chesting it down and sticking it in the corner. It's one of my favourite ever memories of Latics. So yeah, it was Andy. And I briefly met him a couple of times recently. He's just a lovely man as well. So it's even better.
Yeah, a fan favourite for sure of that era. What is your favourite ever away game?
Okay, my birthday's on the 5th of January, which is a terrible time of year for a birthday because it's normally the Monday or Tuesday. Everyone's back in work after Christmas, so everyone's doing dry January. They don't want to do anything. But on occasions, you get a third round FA Cup game. So Everton away was on my birthday. We started to be right up there. But the one I'm going for is Forest away. I was lucky because the local was running a trip, so it was meet at the pub, a few drinks, then a couple of stops on the way. On the way down, the pubs weren't much research, so just basically they're in the good beer guide and they'll let 20 blokes in. So we stopped off in Chesterfield first. What was a banner outside said the East Midlands Cider and Perry Pub of the Year 2006. Bearing in mind it was 2013 when we went, so they were milking that a bit. There was a few characters in there. Then we stopped off just outside Nottingham, and then as you can imagine, 20 guys on the beer. It was hard to get them all back onto the coach. We got into the ground pretty much just as we were kicking off, so we had to go down the sides. We had a terrible view. We were near the front row. We're 1-0 down on goal, so it was a terrible first half. So 5 of the blokes on the trip said, "We're leaving. We're going to go at half time." And to be honest, I was tempted, but I said, "No, I'm definitely going to stay." Unfortunately, I got a phone call from my mate who said, "I've actually found some seats behind the goal," so I had a great view. The guy in front of us, I don't know if Robbie Simpson had run over his dog, but he was giving him dog's abuse. Then like that, he scores 2 goals. Then obviously Jose's goal, the knee slide, everyone's going crazy. So just one of the best second halves I've ever seen. So yeah, I love that day. And like I said, because I never get to do anything on my birthday, it was like to do something on my birthday as well. So that was really good.
And that's what away days. That's away games are all about. The day, aren't they? That's the thing. Like, well, not always, but if the best ones, it's a great day out as much as then. If you get the result as well, then happy days. But yeah, that sounds like a belt. And it was a belt. It often comes up as people's favourite. But if it's on your birthday as well, then yeah, that's very special.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good day out that. And can you give us a little known fact about yourself, Fangast?
Yes, I once at a fundraiser, and you could pay a tenner to have a 501 against Eric Bristow. So yeah, it was a fairly comfortable win for Eric, but it was good to have engaged him in a game of darts.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good. Very good.
What was your top score against Eric in a 3 dart?
Not many. I think about 41 or something like that. But I was bad. But there was a guy who came on after me, and he ended up playing off his knees against him. He was that bad. So it was. At least I didn't have that shame.
Right. Who are you?
My name's Chris Hall, and not the former Oldham striker, but a lifelong fan.
Welcome to the podcast, Chris. We are suffering a little bit of lag on some of the connections here at the minute. So. Please bear with us, listeners.
You'll have to get your editing skills up to speed, Matt, won't you?
Well, possibly, yeah. It depends if I can be asked at this point, Andy. It depends how it is. But yeah. Anyway, so speaking of away days, that's brought us on perfectly. We've had 2 this week. One in London that you would have been at, Andy, and one on Merseyside that you wouldn't have been at. But Chris, were you there yesterday?
I wasn't there, sadly. I couldn't make it, but I did see the game. I thought it was probably for neutral, a pretty scrappy game. But I thought, especially the first half, we were really good. Very well organised. 2 great goals from Fondop and Kavanagh, and then probably slightly fortunate to get the penalty, but we well worthy of the win, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty good display. I was at Bromley on Tuesday, and I thought the display at Bromley was pretty good also. I really like the look of that front 4. Stevens, Kavanagh, Fondop, Drummond are all very complementary, aren't they? Because they've all got something that's different. Fondop with a bit of brute strength when he's on it. Drummond with lightning pace. Stevens, a really intelligent player with a bit of tricks. And then, of course, Kavanagh will just run all day. He's just an absolute pest, isn't he? Getting, running in and around, creating space for other players. So that front 4 that he's assembled all really complement each other. And it's really enjoyable to watch the last few weeks. And I have to say, I think Mike Fondop, particularly in that 4, has really led the line. He was absolutely magnificent at Bromley in the week, Mike Fondop. It's the best I've ever seen him play. I don't think I've ever seen him as good as he's been in the last month or so. And there's a lot of credit has to go to both him and Mickey Melon, really, because I have heard the interview that will play shortly. Mickey references having to sort of get on at Mike to do what he does best. And his attitude to sort of respond to that has been brilliant. So I'm really impressed with it. We're obviously solid at the back anyway, and so now to add real sort of threat with that 4 is quite exciting. If we can keep it together, it'd be be really interesting to see where it takes us.
I mean, it's about having the right combinations, isn't it? I think you've got to have players that complement each other, and they've got to have different assets. And I think that's what I like about that front four that you mentioned, Andy. You know, you've got the, like you said about Kavanagh. I like his attitude. I like the look of him as a guy. For a young guy, he seems very mature on the pitch and how he deals with the other players around him. He's a number 10. He's like around the striker. Lots of really good runs, lots of energy and desire, and you've got the physicality of Fondop and the different attributes that he brings, and then you've got the width and the threat from the flanks. It looks really, really good. And I actually thought we played a lot better on Tuesday against Bromley than we did against Tranmere. I thought we took the game to Bromley. Bromley's game plan is get it forward ASAP, get it wide ASAP, get it in the box ASAP. They don't mess about. And if it doesn't come off, they just do it again and again and again. And it played really into Manny and Daniel's hands, who were both brilliant. I thought every man was brilliant against Bromley because we just took the game to them. It's what we've wanted to see all season, I think, in terms of going to places and playing teams above us and playing without fear. And I thought we were absolutely superb. Not just in the way that we tried to play, because it wasn't an easy game. It wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't like we were able to play the football we wanted to, because Bromley are just incredibly tough team to break down. And they sat really deep, didn't they? They had two very deep lines, and they let us come onto them. So it was really hard to break them down. But the attitude and the graft and the scrap and the fight from the players at Bromley and just the attempt to win the game, I thought was superb. I thought on yesterday, first of all, talking about atmospheres and that, it was just fantastic. It was like the playoffs. Yesterday was like the playoffs. It was in the ground early, loads of noise from really early on. Just that kind of, I think there was just a belief that we were going to win the game from prior to kickoff, and everyone had a good day out in Liverpool and whatnot. And it was fantastic. Obviously, the players will have responded to that, but the game was very scrappy. It didn't start like, it wasn't a classic. They tried to disrupt us as much as anything, I think. And for majority of the game, I thought it was, it wasn't a spectacle, and they did quite well at just disrupting our midfield and not letting us play. But we just showed some moments of quality, didn't we? And that's the difference. And that's what Melon's been saying it all season. And it's what you need. You need to just be able to, when you have a chance or a half chance like Fondop's. I've not actually seen it back yet since I've not seen it since at the game. But just taking a brilliant chance, the same with Kavanagh, just taking your chances and winning the game against a poor side. But you still got to do it.
Well, there were two different goals. Mike Fondop's when he reacts on instinct, he did it loads of times in the National League, didn't he? I remember him scoring a screamer at Aldershot where he just hit it first time. Countless times where once he spins, there was Forest Green at Oldham, spun off the defender and hammered it in, or Yeovil, one of them. He's brilliant like that. When he's got time to think, sometimes he overthinks it and doesn't have quite the sense. So when that ball over the top, which was a fantastic pass by Manny Mon, seeing that run, I just fancied him to score because it was instinctive, and that's where he's really good. The second goal though was a beautiful bit of work between Stevens and Kavanagh to link up, like two little touches, knew instinctively where each of them were going to be, where the run was going to be. It was a lovely goal, proper decent team effort. So yeah, I just think that front four now, you can't really change it at the minute because they all complement each other well. So it's funny, isn't it? Like, if you'd have played Fondop and Quigley together, for me they were too similar, and they weren't really able to work together as a pair. You put Kavanagh there, and all of a sudden Fondop looks 10 times better as well, and it's just how they're all working together. So it's really exciting, yeah.
I like you said about Kavanagh. Sorry, Matt.
No, go on, Chris. Sorry, mate.
You say about Kavanagh with his running and effort, and I think before he got his first goal, you could see like he was frustrated at not scoring and probably not making the right decisions. But now he's got the goal, he's relaxed, and he's looking like a real player. And like you said, just a little short ball from Stevens, and the finish was absolutely fantastic.
Well, I mean, when you look, sorry, it's really difficult with this bit of a lag because I'm not sure when people are about to speak or finish speaking, but the the upturn in form and the amount of goals we're scoring, there's a correlation between Kavanagh coming into the team, or his debut was Swindon away and we lost 3-0. But I mean, I didn't really think it was a 3-0 game, to be honest, anyway. But that was what scoreline that ended up. We went on a little bad run of a few games, but since he's settled into the side and Stevens has come, he's starting. It's made a huge difference. Where all of a sudden we've got far more threat. We're far more unpredictable than we used to be. And I think that's the main problem. And on top of that really solid defence that we've got, I was a bit gutted when Tranmere broke the clean sheet run and we didn't get it to 5 games, but it did offer the supporters the chance to start singing the Tequila song again, which was fantastic. How did it come across, lads, on the TV yesterday in terms of the atmosphere from the away end?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, it was noisy, it was loud. You were constantly singing. Can someone explain to me what Tequila song's about? Why were we singing it there?
I believe it's one of theirs. It's their song, right. And I think they were singing it after they scored at Boundary Park, and so I think it was just a case of nicking their song just to wind them up. Just to wind them up and rub their noses in it a little bit more. And when we just sang it constantly, like just before half time, it was like it must have gone on for about 15 minutes, and it actually carried on through into half time as well. It was just like I said, it was like the playoffs. It was that same mentality. And I'm honestly now, I know that we've spoke about it, but I'm really excited about this month. Is absolutely fantastic. Next week we've got Grimsby at home. And we're now 7 points behind Grimsby, who are in the final playoff place. So if we beat Grimsby next week, we've got Crewe, we've got Chesterfield, who are teams above us. We're on a great run. It's doable. It's on. Like, if we keep performing and if we keep winning, there's obviously no guarantees we will, but there's a huge incentive there now for the lads, for the fans, to turn out in numbers, to go and pack the away ends at Chesterfield and Crewe. Grimsby are bringing a load with them next week, and that's going to be a really big game. I think there's going to be a big crowd in there. So we're entering the realms of, you never know.
I'm pretty sure I know, right? If you watch what's happened over the last few weeks, every time we pick up 3 points, we broadly gain a point on the pack. Because there's 5-6 teams in front of us, so you broadly gain a point. We're 7 points off, so that means we'd have to win 7 games to catch the pack up, right? And then you look at the fixtures: Grimsby, Chesterfield, Notts County, Crewe, Colchester, all coming. You'd have to win them all. You'd literally have to win them all.
We've won 4 out of the last 5, Andy. So why not? Why not?
I'm just.
Listen. I'm going to go to games. I'm going to go to. I might even go to Colchester. Actually, I've not decided yet. But I'm going to go to the games, and I'm going to take that positive spirit of it's possible if we keep winning games, and we'll make noise, and we'll get behind the team, and we'll see what happens. It's all about peaking at the right time, Andy. There's usually one team that comes up out of nowhere, that you were written off. And it's what's fantastic, regardless of whether it happens or not. It's just nice to be at this stage in the season in early March, or it's early March, nearly middle of March, and allowing yourself to have those little fantasies about that while you're in mid-table. Because I don't think anybody was kind of predicting it earlier on that we would go on that we'd be doing so well. We're playing really well, and we're doing and to finish the season on a high is to finish the season well, to be scoring goals and setting up next season nicely. And I think that's what's happening, regardless of where we finish in the table. Like you said before, Randy, about that front four and how it's all looking. I think we're now just setting ourselves up, quite nicely to be optimistic next season. And that, of course, that helps with season ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. So, spring is in the air. I think, it's the reawakening of hope, and it's just great. I love spring; it's my favourite time of year. And if Latics can keep this up, and even a top 10 finish would be a tremendous achievement. I think in our first season back, Bromley finished 10th, I think, or 11th last season, and look at them now. So it's I'm very buoyed after yesterday.
What do you reckon, Chris? Do you reckon there's any chance we make the playoffs?
Well, like Matt says, I think the next 2 games, you win both of those, because I think they're sitting 7th and 8th or something. Win both of those, and it's absolutely game on. And before the season started, if you said this is where we'd be start of March, I'd have probably bit your hand off. So consolidate this year, have a proper go next year. But having seen the league, there's nothing to be frightened of at all. So the way we're playing, I think the tough thing is that many teams on the similar amount of points. So it's going to be very difficult for you to be the one that breaks through. But yeah, win the next 2 games, and there's a chance, definitely.
See, told you, Andy. Right, yeah. Listen, Andy, your internet isn't meeting the high standards that you pay for. I'm afraid this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Mickey Mellon's. Shut up, you. There he is. I'm going to put Mickey Mellon's interview on, and maybe just see about rebooting it a little bit.
Mickey, the fans are still singing, and it was quite an afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got an excellent all day. Really, really good performance to come to a really, really tough place. But backed on by a fantastic support. It's the end of a good week for us. So take stock of things now and move into next week.
Scored the 3 goals, clearly, but what was the key in terms of the performance?
Just everything that was needed to be done. Contacts, good control, scored good goals, dug in. All the qualities that were showed for the last few weeks now, we definitely brought today.
We were in control right from the start, and obviously the goal when it arrived from Fondop came in brilliant fashion, didn't it?
It's a great goal. He makes a good run, and it's a good pass. He makes the mind up the man in the ball, and then he scores a really good finish. It's a really, really good finish, that thing. He's made it look easy there, Michael, but there's an awful lot involved in that, and it's a cracking goal.
Does that sum up what Mike Fondop can bring to an Oldham team?
Yeah, I keep saying to them, we've got to score goals. They're in the team to score goals, so when they do it, big pat in the back. When they don't, we drive that performance with them, and we say, look, you're here to score goals, because you can see how important they are to us.
It was a really good finish from Fondop, and the second from second from Kavanagh wasn't too bad either, was it?
It's a good goal as well, yeah. Good little 3 contacts, like we keep speaking about the contacts, and then a nice composed pass into his path, and a good slotted finish with his left foot.
Dominant during the first half, how important was it to get that second goal going into the break?
As it's really important, and you've got to keep going, because you know that they're going to come out and fling everything at you, Trammy. That's what happens when you come here. But we matched and overcame that, and got the third goal and got ourselves over the line.
Please for Callamy, obviously that was first at Gillingham a few weeks ago, but it was a real striker.
It's a really good finish. It's a really good finish with his left foot. He tucks it away really neatly.
Pleased to see Jack involved in that goal as well, because obviously he got the penalty as well, but it was a nice involvement for that.
Yeah, we felt that in the first half we could do more, but it was very stop-starty. It didn't really get any kind of rhythm to it, and we would have been better with a rhythm to the game, but we said to him at half-time we weren't satisfied with it. We were happy that we're 2-0 up, but we wanted more. We've got players there that we know that can do more. And they came out the second half, and they certainly did. They gave better performances in the second half, and we've like I say, we've got a valuable 3 points.
Couldn't quite get the clean sheet, but 6 unbeaten, I think.
That's about it. Isn't it? They're in there. We're not happy. Disappointed. We've got to get to the guy on the edge of the box. You've got to stop that. So they're disappointed, which is good. It's good. We, like you just said, Al, that's another prize for us. We want to keep collecting their clean sheets. That's a lot of hard work goes into getting them, and we don't want to give up goals cheaply.
6 unbeaten now, I think it is real momentum now about this group, isn't there?
Definitely, and we'll fought hard to get ourselves into this position. Like I say, we'll get ourselves rested and recovered. We've had a tough week. It's been a great week for us, but it's been a tough week concerning travel and the games that we've had to go and get results in. So it's a good week. We'll get them ready again, and we have a really, really important game now. And I want to be able to keep saying that. I want to be able to keep saying we have important games, because we won't allow anything to fizzle out. We're going to keep fighting, and we'll see where it takes us.
You touched on the travel there. It's been a demanding week. It's been a demanding journey on Tuesday as well, obviously. A late finish back. How much credit do the lads deserve for going again like they did today?
Well, an awful lot. I've seen the bus driver more than my missus, to be honest. Spent an awful lot of time with him, and I'd rather spend time with my missus, if I'm perfectly honest. But he's good company, so that's good, and he's got us there safely. But listen, we're going to enjoy the victories. We work hard for them. A lot of work goes into them, and like you say, a lot of travelling, and we're delighted with that. Frank's just creeping in.
What were our supporters like? Have you ever heard them so loud?
Yeah, Wembley. Frank, remember that? Remember Wembley?
My ears are buzzing.
No,
I'm going to be on the sleep tonight. My sinuses are going crazy here.
No, terrific. Frank's on the Tequila, I think. That's what they were singing to Frank. Frank's bought a bottle of Tequila.
Well played today, Mickey.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
I think we need to sack him. We need to move him on. We need to sack him, get a new manager in. He's just not up to it. And that goalkeeper, he's not good enough either. We need to get a better one, don't we?
Are you suggesting that there is an element of particularly the online fan base, Andy, that doesn't have the first fucking idea what they're talking about? I mean, I don't know. Plenty of people have put me in that category, Andy. But I'm just saying.
Well, Mike Fondop has done enough in the last month to prove everything that I thought about him incorrect. So none of us are immune from it. I
don't think anybody takes anything you say seriously, Andy. To be honest with you, Chris, you're on your phone now, so hopefully we've eliminated a bit of lag. Is that correct? No, it's the answer to that. He disappeared again, but we're working on it. But yeah, look, Andy, it's really nice, to hear Mickey, after a victory and after such a good run, and Frank there, obviously delighted with the current situation. And it's all good, isn't it? The whole situation at the club is moving in the right direction. Momentum is building, and regardless of what happens this season, that's just how I am. I'm just, if there's a chance, then I'll keep holding onto it. But regardless of what happens this season, there is real momentum building now, and next season looks like it could be a good season in Brisbane.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech.
Right, enough of that now.
Look, I keep saying about making a place. If we did make the place, I wouldn't necessarily fancy us in it. I suspect that we're going to be in League 2 next season, but I suspect we're going to be, based on what we've got at our disposal currently, and with a few key signings, that we could be right up there next season, Andy.
Definitely. If you keep the big contract issue is Manny Month for me. We need to get Manny Month tied down for another 2 years. That's the one that worries me a little bit. Excuse me, because if you take him out of that back four, is it as solid as it looks? Probably not. And we've probably got to have a look at right back. I thought Will Sutton was okay yesterday. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that Omari Patrick is probably their most offensive player, their best player probably, and he was up against him down that left-hand side. A lot of stuff came down Tranmere's left, so it was a difficult day for Will Sutton, but he coped. He coped okay. I always think about Will Sutton. He's a centre-back playing at right-back. He's not a right-back, and he's just acquitting himself into that role as cover, which is great. We probably do need to look at that, and then we need some legs in midfield for me. But that front four, I'm really excited by that front four because I just love the movement of them. I love the Drummond. Have you seen that the penalty, Max? I know when we were exchanging messages yesterday, you thought it was a penalty, didn't you? Have you seen it replayed back since?
I've not seen it back. I mean, from where I was,
yeah,
Drummond was running through on goal. He took a terrible touch and it went off towards his right hand side, which was then so he was running directly in line with us. And then the keeper went, and maybe it's just the exuberance of it. But you're gonna be shouting penalty, aren't you? That's what you're gonna do as a fan. We all did, everybody did, and it looked, I thought at the time like a penalty. So look, I mean, we deserve to get one. After
we were good value for the 3-0 lead. I mean, it was the same in the week. I was absolutely convinced because at Bromley in the week, I was convinced that Mike Fondop was brought down and that was a penalty at Bromley. Absolutely convinced. I thought that was more of a penalty than the Drummond shirt pull that had happened just before. But when I saw the replay back on the TV, I can see the Bromley player defender nicks the ball, and so therefore it's a good tackle and it was a good decision by the referee, to be fair. And yesterday we just got the rubber to green on that one. The funny thing with Drummond is it's almost like his legs move that quickly. He glides over the ground that quickly that he catches up with the ball before he's realised he's caught with the ball, and he ends up knocking it with his foot because he's just running. But that pace that he's got to break away is frightening for defenders. And Stevens is such a clever footballer. I really like Jack Stevens. When he puts on a bit of weight and he gets a bit stronger, he's going to be a real player. You can see him going up to the Championship easily with the ability he's got. And Kavanagh and Fondop are just a brilliant complementary pair. So we keep those four in the form that they are, or add to it, and we could have a really good go next year. I just think I guess I'm trying to manage my own expectations a bit when I say to myself, we're not getting in the playoffs. Is this season? It's because we'd have to win, like I say, 5, 6, 7 games on the spin in order to catch that pack and get anywhere near it. And you look at the fixtures and the likelihood. When's the last time we had 5 green ticks, Matt?
It's a long time.
Exactly.
It's such a shame. Such a shame that we are worthy of the 5. I think with the Bromley game, and it's a shame that we didn't manage it, but. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to do it. And the thing is that if you are going to get promoted, you are going to get in the playoffs, you're going to need to do that. You're going to need to. But there's no right way. We drew a lot of games that we should have won. We haven't lost that many games really compared to the teams above us. It's about how it all balances out over the season. So. It's all that matters at the end of the season is how many games you've won, how many you've drawn, how many you've lost, how many points you've got, and how that comes about. It might come at this stage of the season, Chris. There's teams that are dipping. They're running out of gas, they're running out of legs, they're running out. There are teams that are just kind of plodding along, and there are teams that are peaking. So it's definitely possible. We're playing 7th, 8th, and 9th in the next 3 games. So, but do you fancy us then to be a real force next season if we don't make it this season?
Yeah, like you said before, I think we're a couple of players shy. I think Hudson's going to be difficult to keep hold of. I think he's going to have a few suitors, but I think we've got the nucleus. And I don't know, it feels similar to last season. I don't know if it's by design or by luck, but we've stumbled across the right team at the right time. And I think another one that I thought Woods' form had really dipped, but like a few games out the starting lineup, and he's come back and he's looking a lot better. I think we keep hold of that. I think the front four they'll all be contracted. Like I said, we probably need to replace Pets. We need some legs in midfield, but keep hold of Manny, and we've got a really, really solid team. A couple of smart additions, and I think we'll be right up there next year.
We do need to add the strength in depth, though, don't we? We need to have that. I quite like Ollie Hammond now coming on for Kavanagh in that number 10 role. That works well for me. Probably later in the game rather than as a starter. Because I think that's his role. I don't think he's a central midfielder. I don't think you put him in there with alongside Woods or Pett. I think he plays a bit further forward, Hammond, and he really stretches teams. But you mentioned there about sort of stumbling along the right formation, but really, had Stevens been fit, he would have started from the start of the season. Drummond, as obviously was brought in at the beginning of the season. He's brought Kavanagh in because we needed somebody else to play up front. So it's by design, the team is by design. I think we are lacking, like you said, in the middle of the park, someone who can get on the ball and be more progressive with it, I think, and maybe a bit more physical. But I think it's coming up nicely. If we can get a right-footed Jamie Robson, then we'll be absolutely fantastic next season. But again, you've got to be able to replace players when they inevitably get injured and suspended and stuff like that. So it is a squad game. So we'll see. We've got to get rid of players. I'm looking forward to doing the squad pod, Andy, at the end of the season as we decide whether we're sticking or twisting with players. But yeah, I think it's just fantastic. What was it? 6 unbeaten. Then we lost 3 games. Then it's another 6 unbeaten. Right. So what's that? 15 games. We lost 3. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. So, like you were saying, Andy, before, there was absolutely no need to start panicking, was there? Just because we lost a few games and conceded a few goals.
No, the bigger picture, the trajectory is going in the right direction. We've only lost 9 games. We still haven't in double figures on that. You look at the teams around us; they've lost way more than that. There's teams in the playoffs that have lost more than we have. So,
yeah, it was the draws, isn't it, that was the killer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Salford have lost 13.
I know.
And they've lost most of them in recent weeks. So it is all about timing. But they've only drawn 4, you see, Salford. They've won 18. So that's the thing. We're up to 12 wins now. So yeah, I mean, I'm delighted. It's been a really, really good first season back. And we've had days like yesterday, special days. We'll have more of them before the season's out. We've got nice away trips to Chesterfield and Crewe. I think it's going to be. I think that game next week, Grimsby are on a good run themselves, and up to 7th. Yeah, they've drawn 9 games, which is only 2 less.
The only thing I'll say is if you look at the form table at the minute, so the last 6 games form table, we're actually second in the table, only Shrewsbury in front of us.
Yeah.
But if you look at the teams we've beaten on that run, a lot of them are right at the bottom of the form table. So, you Tranmere are bottom, Crawley are next bottom, Bristol Rovers are in the sort of bottom third of the table as well. So we've had some relatively easy games on form.
And we still have Harrogate, Newport and Barrow to play though, Andy, as well, which in that final run. So that's good.
We do. Harrogate are 9th in the form table. They've done all right in recent times. So, it'll be... I think this next sort of tranche of games coming up with teams in and around us will really tell us where we are. And we'd have to win them all. And I think realistically we won't. So that's why I'm tempering my expectations. But it's going to be exciting going into the next few weeks. If we can pull off a few wins, then it will keep the season alive and everyone... just listening to that interview from Mickey there with Frank, you can feel the positivity just like running through the veins of everybody at the club, can't you?
Yeah, and you could hear, Chris. You could hear some of the fans stayed in the ground quite long after, and they were singing through that interview, and it's nice to see, innit? I mean, what a difference compared to a few years ago.
Yeah, after the Crawley game last week, we went afterwards. So we started off in the fans bar, and we were commenting just like how nice it's like. You got 7,000 home fans there. Afterwards, you could come in. There's couple hundred people having a drink. Everyone's positive. It's just like night and day from what it was. It's just, and then like Frank comes in and chats to everyone. He's such a good owner. And like one of my, I don't think I've cried in about 20 years, but that moment when Mickey takes his medal and gives it Frank and says, "That's for you," it just got me going. It's just like you said, there's so much positivity. And I think we've just got some really, really good people at the club at the minute. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And the momentum at a football club, or like any business, or any team, that it requires stability. It requires people getting to know each other. It requires relationships being built and understanding and empathy and lots of things. And that's why I get a bit frustrated when people want to change something that, on the whole, is working. Clearly working. The characters that Melon's bringing in to the team. Look what he's done with Kane Drummond, like this season. Fantastic. Look what he's doing, Fondop. He's brought in Kavanagh, who we've already mentioned has got a great attitude. Conlon is the captain. Unfortunately, he's injured, but he's still been a brilliant presence around the club. Joe Garner has been kept around the club because he's a great presence around the club. Like Manny Month and Daniels and Robson, all grafting and battling every single week, regardless. Sometimes they might not be playing, in the best form. Like they might be struggling a little bit, but the attitude is spot on, and that is so important. And that is all stemming from the top and through. It filters through from the top, right from the top, from the owner, the chairman, the board of directors, the manager, the management team, the players, the fans. We've got to sort of keep that together. And I think it's such a gamble trying to bring somebody else in just because you don't, whatever, as a fan, whatever criticisms you've got, when clearly the togetherness at the club is better than, if it's not better than it's ever been, it's right up there, and it's such a, look at the, the championship table, because you're looking, obviously, you're looking at, you're dreaming. Football's about dreaming a bit, innit? And looking and what ifs and fantasy and that. And you're thinking, well, what if we just snuck into League One? Who's coming down? Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester City, West Brom, or Blackburn could come down. Imagine, playing those kind of teams. And look how quickly it goes from Leicester, winning the league, winning the Premier League, playing in the Champions League, to being second bottom in the Championship and down in League One. Things can change very, very quickly from being on a high. So keeping things together when it's going well and you've got that momentum is crucially important. And that's, I think, what's happening. Andy, have you any idea, even when the announcement of Mickey Mellon's what's going to happen about his contract? Have you heard anything on the grapevine? Because it does with every match that goes by. It does seem like it would be nice to know.
I mean, now would be the time to do it, wouldn't it? When you're on the back of a reasonable run and there's such good feeling there. As far as I know, and I don't know for sure, obviously, but as far as I'm aware, in principle, a 2-year deal is agreed. So I'm sure that announcement will come at some point.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sort of debate, Chris, about, well, should it be a 1 year or should it be a 2-year deal? People saying, we had it on the phone in the other day, I'd give him a 1 year deal. And I'm saying, just give him a 2-year deal if that's what he wants. Where do you stand on it, Chris?
Yeah, I think if you'd asked me 6 weeks ago, I'd have probably been on the 1 year side of things. But yeah, I think definitely now 2 years. I think, and like you said, like if we did get rid of him, who do you bring in? He knows the club now. There's probably very few managers who've got a track record of like getting clubs out of league like the National League, League Two. So I think he's the perfect man for the job. And yeah, we're not far off being a really good side. So yeah, I think he needs the stability of 2 years, and that's what I'd be looking. But like Andy, I've heard similar that these, not from anyone in any kind of authority, but like a 2-year deal has been offered. So, and I can't see him not taking it. So hopefully, like they'll probably wait for near the end of the season to announce it. But hopefully, it is announced because I really like him.
Yeah. Are you in the same agreement, Andy, in terms of the length of the contract? Are you quite happy for him to stay on for a couple of years?
I've been saying, on this podcast for weeks and weeks, you've offered him a 1+1, the other side of Christmas without any problem. If he wants 2, give him 2. I haven't changed my opinion on that. So I'm very happy for him to get a 2-year deal. And I think, what he's building with this particular team at the minute definitely bodes well. I mean, I'd love him to stay for 12 years. Like Frizzle Oil. If he's here for because 12 years, really we are going. Yeah. We're going places, aren't we? So I don't want to get rid of him. No. I want.
I actually think, Andy, that yeah, I actually think that most fans agree. I think most fans want him to stay. I think it's just that there are a very vocal minority. I think when it comes to social media, anyway, that tend to make these noises and whatnot. But I think he's doing a great job, and I think not just him. I think the club are doing a great job, and League One now at this stage in this season doesn't seem so far away. does it? Whether or not we finish in the top 7 and have a crack at the playoffs this season, it feels like that thing we've spoke about it before, Andy, many times, improving year on year. And so for me, the higher we finish up the table, the more encouraging it is for next year, because so we can finish in the top 10. We can finish even even going down to the last game, with an outside chance of finishing in the playoffs, like depending on results or something like that, that'd be mega. Or a couple of days, taking it right to the end of the season where you've got that excitement. And if you don't get it, you've got a little bit disappointed. But you know what? You're absolutely delighted with the effort of the players and the management and the coaching team. And you're really looking forward to next season. You're really looking forward to the news of who signed a new deal. And you're really looking forward to who's being unveiled as a new signing and all that kind of stuff. You're having a really, really optimistic summer. We've got the World Cup this summer, so we can carry on the football. We can watch that, and then straight back into another campaign. And it's just, God, Andy, we've been doing this. Next season will be our 7th season of doing this podcast, and we've not looked forward to a season obviously this season we've looked forward to it because it was our first one back in the EFL, but we kind of knew it would probably be a bit of a struggle, bit of a tough season, and it has been. But it's finishing on a high. So next season might be, just looking forward to a different experience. It's like a different experience every season, isn't it? It's a different experience with the new owners. It's a different experience than ones that we've had for decades prior, and I'm just so grateful that we are living through this opportunity at the minute to feel good about our football, Chris, rather than dreading.
Yeah, like
dreading
you said, like a few seasons back. Sorry, like you said, a few seasons back, it was almost that you had to endure it rather than enjoy it. And now you can walk to the ground with a smile on your face. It's I used to think this is my free time, and you just sat in the stands with people arguing with each other. And it's horrible. And now there's such a feel-good factor in the place. And you're looking around at where they built the new training grounds. The club's going to start having new revenue incomes, because it's got the Frank family can't keep supporting it, so it's got to, start doing that. And I think, like you mentioned, early season ticket sales. Now if we'd have finished like lower mid-table and finished the season badly, that they could have struggled next year. But I think that's really going to boost season ticket sales. So yeah, it should be a really, really exciting year next year.
Yeah, I had a nice chat with a Tranmere fan on the way down to the ground yesterday. He was on his own. He said he'd not been for a few games because it was shocking, but because it was Oldham, he thought he'd come along and obviously hoped that they'd nick one. But he said, "Look, you've got to guarantee 3 points here, mate." And I don't want to see Tranmere. I don't think they will go down because I think they've got probably got enough points on the board. I don't think some of the teams below them will probably be able to catch them. But I don't want to see Tranmere go down. I want League Two next season to be full of good games like that. I like going to Prenton Park. I like it when they come to us. Get easy 6 points. It'll be another easy 6 points next season. I want them and Rochdale. It's going to be good. And depending on who comes down, I want big local games in the Football League. That's what I want against our rivals. I don't. They are a rival, aren't they, Tranmere? There's no doubt about that. They're kind of like we're on the same level in Greater Manchester as they are on Merseyside, and it's good fun, and I want more days like that at Tranmere. So I hope they sort it out and steady the ship and they're in League Two next season. I always hope we do a lot better than them and beat them and are in a high division ultimately. But for next season, it'd be great to have them around and back to Rochdale, maybe York, maybe Carlisle. So yeah, some good trips out, some more experiences that we'll have to log away in our memory banks for future Latics Mind quizzes. So Chris, that time has come. You've already put out a disclaimer that you're not going to be very good at this, so your expectations, I presume, are quite low.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, we wish you the very, very best of luck. Latics Mind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together.
Latics Mind.
Before Michael Melon, who was the last Latics player to score at least 2 hat-tricks in the same season?
I have to pass.
Which former Latic am I? I started my career at Glasgow Rangers before finishing my career with Warrington Rylands, having spent some time in South Africa.
Oh. I can see his face. Oh dear, we'll have to pass again. If I can remember it, I'll come back to it.
Which player did Latics sign from MK Dons last season?
Pass.
Who did Latics sign Liam Hogan from?
Stockport County.
Correct. Which former Sheffield Wednesday winger did Latics sign from Grantham Town in the summer of 2021?
Pass.
Which iconic Latics match saw this scoring pattern? 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2.
Was it Nottingham Forest away?
No, it was Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah.
Which left back did Latics sign from Hartlepool in the summer of 2022?
Pass.
Which former Newcastle youth... I've started, so I'll finish. Which former Newcastle youth goalkeeper had a short spell with Latics in 2023-24?
Pass.
Hey, Matt, you've got a load to go at here.
Yay.
Yay. Right, let's start with... So you got one, Chris. You got one. That's better than a duck. Oh, you didn't score a fat 0. Before Michael Melon, who was the last Latics player to score at least 2 hat-tricks in the same season?
Was it Carlo Corizon?
It was Stuart Barlow.
Oh, okay.
In 96-97. So Carlo Corizon got hat-tricks, but probably not 2 in the same season.
Yeah.
Which former Latic am I? Started my career at Glasgow Rangers, finished at Warrington Rylands with a spell in South Africa in between. He was South African.
Furman.
Dean Furman.
Dean Furman.
Yeah.
I could remember the Dean part. I just couldn't think of his surname.
Yeah. Which player did Latics sign from MK Dons last season, Matt?
Joe Pritchard.
Correct. You're on fire here, aren't you? Which former Newcastle youth goalkeeper had a short spell with Latics in 23-24?
No idea.
That was Dan Langley. Which left back did Latics sign from Hartlepool in the summer of 2022?
This is where like all the left backs have got just go out of your head, don't they? Like it's kind of if you know it, don't you? You just kind of remember. I don't know.
Zane Francis Angol.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which former Sheffield Wednesday winger did Latics sign from Grantham Town in the summer of 2021?
Was it Jack Stobbs?
Correct.
Yay! Oh,
that is a good day for you, Matt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know what? I pulled that from. I when you said it, I didn't know, but I was like, Grantham. That does ring a bell. So yeah.
I have had therapy to get Jack Stobbs out of my head, so to forget that he ever played for us. So I'm never going to get that.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Hope you did well playing along at home there, guys. Some good questions there, Zig, for me, for a change. I'm just talking to the dog. He's sitting next to me. He's being a good boy.
Well, while we're at it, if Paul's listening, Mr. Prendergast, the bank is dry, so we need more questions, dear sir.
More questions. Yeah, we are. It's the 8th of March as we record this. We are honing in. We're on the home stretch of the season. We've got some massive games coming up. to just keep us interested in the playoff mix at Latics. But I've just logged on. I've just opened up the website there just to have a quick look at the fixtures. But the images that are coming up there, the lads all hugging around Stevens after his penalty. Drummond and Stevens with their arms in the air, just all really, really good images. Really, really good. They look like a really close group of players, and that is so important. They look like they're enjoying playing for each other, and they're enjoying their football.
You know, when the goalkeeper he got injured in that challenge with Drummond, where it came to penalty and obviously went off. In that intervening sort of 5 minutes that it took to sort it out. Fondop had the ball in his hand for pretty much the whole period, didn't he? Yeah. And then Stevens put the ball on the spot. I mean, I was screaming at the telly, "Give it Stevens, give it Stevens!" So I was glad he took it, because I don't think either Kavanagh or Fondop in the last two penalties we've took, and even Joe Garner prior to that, really warrant taking the next one. Were you looking at the touchline? Because obviously the TV's just focusing on the penalty area and the goalkeeper. I was wondering if they were getting messages to the players on the pitch and trying to get Stevens to take it. Did you notice that? Was that going on?
Well, Stevens went up to Fondop early on, and it looked like he was going to take the ball. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. There was. I think there was a lot of tequila chanting going on during the injuries to the goalkeeper. I would like to point out that he did get a warm round of applause as he was leaving the pitch, but the tequila chant did continue. I think Stevens is clearly the most composed in front of goal that we've got. You can see that by the way he takes his chances. I think maybe if Kavanagh had scored the one on his debut, he might be. I don't even know, was he still on the pitch at that point? I think he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. But Stevens is very, very cool, and he's the kind of footballer that once he decides where the ball's going, that's where it's going, and that's what you need with a penalty taker in it. He said, right, it's going there, and it goes there. And I'm not sure if that whole thing was a bit of a mind game thing, because they were bringing a new keeper on and they wanted the new keeper to think Fondop was taking it, and then he just passed it over to Stevens. So I think maybe that might have been something to do with it. But it was it was just great yesterday. It was really, really good. It was really, really enjoyable. It was one of those away days that you'll long remember. Going to Tranmere and giving them a good hiding in their own backyard is always going to be pleasurable. And 6-2 on aggregate against them over the season, so it's been very good in that regard. Chris, Grimsby next week. It was a 0-0 Boer draw on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
In the return fixture, they're on a good run of form. We're on a good run of form. We don't concede many goals, but we're scoring. There's going to be a big crowd, I think, at Boundary Park next week. How do you see that game panning out? Is it got draw written all over it with two informed sides, or what do you reckon?
I've got a sneaky feeling it'll be very, very close, but I think we'll sneak either a 2-1 or a 1-0 win. I think we've got enough about us at the minute to, like you said, we're both a lot better teams than we were on Boxing Day, but they didn't look a great team at all in that game. So, yeah, I think it's definitely winnable, and but tough. But yeah, 2-1, 1-0, something like that. I do fancy us.
Their last 5 games is quite inconsistent compared to ours. They've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. So I'm not sure depends which Grimsby turn up, I guess, doesn't it? From that, if we can just maintain the performance levels that we've shown in recent weeks on Saturday, then I think we should be favourites going into it. And then anything is possible. Take it game at a time. We won't have long to wait, because then we'll be going down to Chesterfield on St Patrick's Day on the 17th of March. Presumably another sold out away end, followed by lowly Harrogate Town at Boundary Park on Saturday the 21st of March. So it really is a big week in terms of what might happen at the end of the season. So Andy, I'll definitely I'll buy you a pint or two if we make the playoffs when I come down to London for the Wembley final. Oh no, sorry, Andy, I'm getting far too ahead of myself there. Wembley final, what are you talking about, like? But it's nice to feel. It's just nice on a Sunday morning to feel good about Latics, and I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, I did after the first half an hour away at Barnet start Googling when the playoffs were and Wembley hotels, and I quickly shut down the browsers for those after the game finished. But yeah, I think we have got the momentum now, so hopefully we can just sneak in there.
Ooh, let's see. The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendle-nu-tech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. Any other business, Andrew?
No, I think we're done.
Right. Well, it's flown by. It's just so much easier to do. It's so much more fun to do when we're winning games of football. I must say, it really is. So long may it continue. Long may it continue. Right, I'm going to go and drink tequila for the whole day in celebration of yesterday. I'm not actually. I'm going to Bolton. I'm going getting a new guitar. I'm going to have some food over at Lucknow Junction in Farnworth, which is very, very good. So I do highly recommend if you're in the area, going some delicious Indian street food. It's really, really good. Chris, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast today.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks.
Good stuff. You're welcome back next season when we're in League One. Andy, when will you next be? Which game will you next be going to, Andy?
Mine will probably be Easter Friday, Colchester. So
yeah,
another southern game for me to get to.
It's it's a long way, isn't it, Colchester from up here? But if we win every game between now and then, I'll definitely go.
I don't expect to see you there then.
Yeah, but that's what we'll see, and we'll see how we get on. Right, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Listeners, enjoy your Monday and the rest of your week, and thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you for the phone-in on Thursday.
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage?
Ooh.
What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Oh. Thank you, listeners.